Hello and welcome everybody out there in YouTube and D&D land. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. Before we jump into the action, don't forget like, comment, subscribe. All of those things help us out tremendously. If you're interested in supporting us a little further, consider becoming a member here on our YouTube channel. Or if you're interested in playing in any of our games, we do have open slots available starting in just a couple of days for our Friday ZODIAC campaign, and we currently have open slots available for our Tuesday One's Debt campaign. And I believe that's going to be all the self-promoting that I care to do right now. So let's play some D&D. Alrighty, Lily, what happened last session?
Last session on the daddy issues. The group was heading into town after finding out about the incoming military. I don't want to say battalion, but not patrol either. The military garrison coming in to occupy the town, and the party had decided to head into the town itself to first suss out the imperial spies before dealing with them. I believe it was Shale managed to notice some suspicious individuals, one human and one dwarf. And upon hearing that, Lily took it upon herself to attempt to tail one of them, obviously the human, because human continent and human empire, and used her invisibility armband to do so. Her stealth mission was going well until she was discovered, and the individual knocked her out with some sleeping powder he kept on hand, which is already sus in of itself. As that was happening, the rest of the group decided to wait for Lily to return, and they stopped by the inn to ask about the suspicious people. There, they learned some things that I can't remember, but they also saw some Imperial soldiers that had come in and were, I believe, were the ones that beat up this one guy that I wasn't here for. However,
Loxford.
thank you. After which, though, the group learned that it was taking quite a while for Lily to return, so they went to go check on her and followed her footsteps that were left in the muddy rain, and found out that she had been captured. And following the tracks of the one who captured her, they wound up at a guard post. With a very clever distraction from Shale, the local guard and his dogs were sent away while the group entered. However, the spy was there, and he was a mage. With some careful spells and actions, the party attempted at first to capture him, or at least knock him out. However, after slapping Tulsha slapped back really hard and sucked him out of all his life with an inflict wounds. In panic mode after having killed this spy, the group quickly put the body in Lily's bag, and headed back to the inn, with Lily using the cloak to disguise herself as the once dead spy. And before she could decide to walk off and avoid any sort of conflict, there was the other spy, the dwarven spy, had come with soldiers, having been contacted for backup by the now dead human spy. Seeing through the deception, he ordered the soldiers to attack, and the party had to defend themselves. During the conflict, he shot a fireball at.
I want to correct what you were saying
Yes.
because he did not see through the deception quite yet. Shale, seeing Lily in a state of panic, tried assisting by acting like a pickpocket, and he used lethal spell casting, which caused you to try to capture him with your nullifying breath before he gave the order to execute everybody.
Right. Sorry, I was going strictly by my notes, and it's more of a summary.
The order of operations makes a big difference in what's about to happen.
Right. Yeah. After which he then ordered the soldiers to attack the party, and after I think 2 rounds of that, he openly said that the town itself was resisting and ordered the soldiers to massacre them all. And in the conflict, that was when Lily heard those words and used her breath, her icy breath this time, to finish the rest of the soldiers. Trying to remember who killed the. No, we didn't kill. Shale managed to non-lethally knock out the dwarf by shooting him in the leg, and then he hit his head on something really hard. And with that, the spy was captured, and the soldiers killed, and the party had to. Well, after a moving speech about how the Empire was oppressing the town with the Starosta's help, the party managed to help incite, I don't want to say rebellion, a resistance in the town, to sympathize with them. And then the group went inside the inn to discuss the much needed moral quandaries of what they've started and what they've done. I don't remember. I didn't write down all the details of that, but after which some heated words were thrown back and forth, and the Starosta, who I didn't write his name down for some reason, Goldie, helped grandfather act as a sort of an experienced individual to tell them, to help them, advise them on what was happening and what they may need to come to terms with.
So a little time passes. Shale, you have been attending to Bernie and Kurt for a little while now, briefing them both on your understanding of what happened. Kurt and Bernie, you're currently feeling considerably better, and you're starting to miss home cooking from Tal'Dorei. Your bodies just don't seem to mesh well with the Menagerie Coast, but hopefully you're adapting to it.
So you're telling me they just went berserk and killed everyone?
They just went from bad to worse.
Well, almost everybody. We did manage to get one of the spies in captivity.
That went as poorly as I think it could have gone. Oh my gosh. I didn't sign up to kill people. In fact, when we killed those people at the Bay resort, I felt weird. Like, I have all their names written down. In fact, I wrote one of the families a very nice letter apologizing. Thinks of honeydew.
At least there, it seemed like they were given a choice whether or not, they wanted to join us or leave or fight. And obviously some of them chose more poorly than others, but
Did you give these ones a choice to surrender? I guess
they weren't given anything.
I'm gonna just look at Bernie.
Right, I'm just trying to wrap my head around this mess. Right, so it seems like we have little choice but to fully engage in this conflict. Things wouldn't have turned out this way if we hadn't come here. So I say we have a we owe a debt to the people of this town to try and make the best of the situation. And I think we need to reach out to someone in the Tal'Dorei army, or at least in my order, to relay what's happened here. Hopefully they can be able to lend some assistance, because the Empire is bound to crack down hard on this place when they finally hear exactly what's going on here. And with that,
Getting in touch with them?
what?
Do you have a way of getting in touch with them? Like, do you just write them a letter and we wait?
I don't directly, but doesn't is it Tulsa? Don't you have that magic where you speak to someone over a long distance, or?
Tolsha's not in
I was
this
about
room
to
with
say,
you.
Tulsa's downstairs, but I can grab it.
Right, right.
A little dehydrated. Give him
Yeah,
some water.
I had to turn around my token, so I didn't see anything.
Oh, also, they
You're fine, you're fine.
he was asking for a title, the menfolk, and it was kind of discussed amongst us. We gave him the name the Riptides. I hope you don't mind. But if somebody addresses you as such, they'd be including you in the description.
Right. Well, I suppose that's as good a name as any. Right. Well, let's go speak with the others then. Where is everyone right now? Are they all downstairs? Or?
Yeah, I think they were helping to take care of our new captured friend.
Right. Right. Well, let's see if we can salvage this somehow.
So, if you follow out of the wall or out of the door right here, you can make it into the primary tavern over here, where you see Starosta, Goldie, and Amy. Wrong way, Bernie.
Oh,
Here.
okay.
Starosta, Goldie, and Amy are sitting down at one of the tables, talking in whispers with one another. They both wave at you, seeing that you're finally up out of bed. And Tolsha seems to be across the empty tavern, sitting by herself.
Drinking.
I gave a small wink, or a wave to the Starosta and Amy, and walk over to Tulsa. Are you okay, Tulsa? You seem a bit, well, bruised.
Yes, definitely that breath weapon, or when Lily attacked using her, well, natural ability of ice, she caught me in the blast.
Oh, right. Well, I give you a tap on the shoulder, and let's see. I'll give you 15 hit points back.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Well, if it wasn't for her, I'm pretty sure I'd be not here. So,
right. Well, that's good. I'm sure you all made the best call you could in the situation. I don't think I don't think I know all the details, of course, but it doesn't really matter. But well, I spoke with Shale and Kurt back there, and well, we should probably gather everyone before we discuss our course of action going forward. Where's Lily and Marion?
I knock on Marion's door.
Opens it slightly. Yes.
Bunny's trying to get everybody together. wants to have a discussion.
Give me one moment. I close the door, turn around, make sure Lily's all nice and comfy in her bed, press digitation to make it smell like cookies Mom used to make. And I silently walk out the door.
No, I'm still awake, right?
God damn it!
Thank you.
I was half expecting you to give her the atomic elbow.
Sorry, I assumed that you were sleeping based on this message. Do you feel up to talking with everyone else?
Not right now, but I still have things I need to think about. But thank you. I miss those cookies.
Just get some rest. And he does the little pat. You know what moms do when you're sleeping, like the hair. I don't know what the. Just slowly get some rest. And he walks out the door, joins everyone. Lily needs some
Move
rest.
you all over here.
All right. Are you okay? Let's see.
I have seen my fair share of death, but that was more than I was expecting today.
I see her both a bit beat up as well. I go over and like tap you on the shoulder once each, and you get 5 hit points back each.
I'm alright. They're just arcane burns. He shot me something fierce in the back when I was running. What was that?
Did I see him shoot that?
Yeah.
That was magic missile. It cannot be missed.
Felt more like a hot iron just being grinded into my shoulder.
How's Lily doing? Is she coping?
As best she can. This brought up. It's not my story to tell.
Well, that's fair enough. You're the one out of all of us who knows her the best, so if there's anything you think she would need from the rest of us, just let us know. I don't presume to speak for everyone, of course. Right. Well,
Have y'all done a lot of that, like with the magic and the killing people?
Magic before. Yes, but not like with what occurred at the guardhouse. And even those soldiers I tried to put to sleep before things got crazy.
And I'm sorry about that.
I mean, I don't think it's me who would be needing an apology. We don't know those people. We didn't know any of them.
No. But I'm sure, like, Bernie, you know that when you sign up to be in the military, you're putting your possible life on the line.
Of course.
Is this how wars are fought? Just outside of tavern stoops and in the city streets?
Sometimes.
It's
For the
awful.
most part, it's just a lot of men trying to kill each other.
Well, according to the book, you're supposed to try to de-escalate the situation, which I guess we didn't really have soldiers there, so wouldn't have known that. And I don't think the Empire is real big on de-escalation, but
And I always imagined it something like a sports team. You know, you read in the books like they're all dressed up fancy and whatnot, and then they fight the other people that are dressed up fancy and whatnot, and then, you know, somebody wins and somebody loses, and usually there's somebody kissing somebody at the end, but it's not really what I imagined.
And what books did you read about this from?
No, stories.
What stories did you hear about this from?
There's like the one about the what is it, the Crook and the Crane, and there was a few others I heard, mostly having to do with you know, like follower of Cord, like the Blonde Beauty. She just goes into detail about various stories.
Basehead. That's a war story.
Well, whatever the case is, we need to come up with our plans going forward, because this changes a lot of things, both for us and for the people of this town.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
You guys think this means Dad's splitting again?
I don't think so. But
The Empire's cracking down on it. I don't see him staying too long.
but we have a moment to possibly use one of the Volstrucker's identity to tell the commander that's coming to go somewhere else, maybe to redirect him to the mountains to the south. Say that there's some kind of beast or something terrorizing people. Because if what Dad said is true, Ferdinand Halsberger is looking to make a name for himself. What better way than killing a monster that was terrorizing a village?
Well, if he's out to make a name for himself, I'd say it's probably connected to the war effort in some manner. You know, there's always a lot of people who try to win glory and honor in wars. And, well, I don't presume to know the guy at all, but it might be, if we're going the route of that kind of deception, it might be better if we were to mislead by giving some kind of false information about a possible detachment of Tal'Dorei spies or well, infiltrators.
Is there a place that these Imperial soldiers were working out of? Maybe they have a stamp or something. I could write a letter, write up official documents and things, make it seem more believable.
We should also find where this mage and his apprentice were staying. We did
Maybe-
not find his spellbook and other arcane items on him. It's possible he might need to check in with his superiors.
Also, maybe there is a monster or something nearby. If this guy is trying to make a name for himself, instead of sending him at another army and just causing more pain, why don't we just send him at one of these monsters that may be nearby and help out the village itself? It hurts the Empire, and it's not hurting anyone else except the monster. I'm gonna look over at Saratosa.
Starosta?
Starosta.
Goldie. Just call him
Goldie.
Goldie.
Is there any monster that terrorized the town of late? Anything big?
Not in these parts. There was a pretty big situation that happened over in Orfield. Some type of monstrosity coming out of the ground and stuff. But that's really it.
How far
That
away
was-
is that?
Orfield? Halfway across the
Oh,
continent.
that's not good.
Yeah, we're looking at a good 600 miles of road. 500 miles.
I think we'll be able to lie about that one unless we come up with a very good liar. We have a very good liar that looks around the group.
Goldie, why don't you come over and join us here?
Alright. He'll stand up and pat Mary or Amy on the hand and pull up a chair and sits down at the table.
I think we need to be upfront about what's happening here. You know, I'm sure you're well aware what this means for your township here.
I do, yeah.
How many fighting men do you have? Or women, for that matter?
Every person who grows up within Pride's Call serves a minimum of 1 to 2 years. As of the age of maturity, based off of their own, well, being.
I just want to extend I don't have the authority, as it were, to order anything, but I am affiliated with the Tal'Dorei military, and I am a paladin of the Iron Oath Order. I look at Tulshan. You can send that message over distances, right?
I can, however, if I do that today, I won't have any abilities to bring anyone back should they die.
Right. Well, when are we expecting this, the new commander and his contingent?
2 days?
At the
Hold
earliest.
on,
yeah.
you can bring people back to life.
Oh wow, Shell's gainer mind opens to the possibilities of magic.
Within a minute of their death,
And you chose not to save anybody who was killed.
because each time it costs a diamond worth 300 gold pieces. I only have one of
Money?
those.
So money.
Basically, it's sacrificing material goods for the ability to use the spell as a medium. And with my abilities, I can only do that up to 3 times a day
You can save 3 people?
within a minute of their death. It's limiting in that regard.
I will go out on a limb and assume that those diamonds are not particularly easy to come by, right?
Not really.
So, it's...
And I only have one.
Right. So, it better be used for when it's absolutely necessary, I'd say.
Unfortunately.
Well, back to the original point. You can send a message. So, Starosta Guldi, if you want, I can request some kind of assistance. I don't know what Tal'Dorei will be able to offer as of this moment because, well, this is far into the Empire territory, and I haven't been exactly part of the war efforts in any way. But it seems to me like if you don't affiliate yourself with one of the other factions in this conflict, you are more or less on your own. And based on, well, what I know about the Empire's military, I'm sure you have a whole lot of very capable and hardy people, but numbers do mean a lot. And
We're not looking to go to war.
no,
We're looking to stay out of it.
well, that's fair, but are you sure that is something the Empire is willing to let you do?
Well, your family was just talking good plan yesterday, or earlier today,
What was that?
making one of you look like the Volstrucker, going out and telling the commander to go someplace else, new appointed.
Sure. Well, yes, I think we definitely need to do something like that, but it's at best a temporary measure, as I see it. At some point, they will find out. They have a lot of mages at their disposal, right? What's that? Assembly or something you call it?
Cerberus assembly.
Right.
Hey, yeah.
So while it can be hopefully enough to buy you and your town some time, I think at some point the Empire will crack down on this place because it is of a strategic position.
Yeah. What? And also, just to note, all of you are aware of Lily in the doorway listening. It's not, she failed her stealth check.
Just look.
Yeah.
We can figure out how to fortify or what to do with the town after we divert the force. That buys us time, months before they figure it out, hopefully.
Hopefully within months the war will be over.
And then the point will be moot.
And then the town will have the Empire's undivided attention.
If they need a reason not to come here, why don't we just give them the reason? We could say, as Kurt was pointing out, if there's something terrorizing the area, well, we've got resources. We've got a potion that could create such a dilemma. And if there was a story about the valiant Imperial soldiers defending Prad's Call from a terrible monster, and then the people being eternally grateful for their service and their sacrifice, maybe that could be the message that we deliver upon their superiors. Let them know that the people of Prad's Call are indebted to the Empire.
That might work. But we have to be very careful how we word that story.
Well, you got to come up with some reason why all the people are dead.
There also is the possibility of the ghost ship.
So wondering if you were going to bring that up.
You could make a name for yourself defeating a great and powerful ghost ship. that roam the night skies.
Right. Well, we can discuss the details of this subterfuge a bit more closely, but what I would like to know from you, Staros Daguldi, is do you want to ask for any assistance from Tal'Dorei?
Bride's Call used to belong to a different empire before the Dwendali. And we didn't like them very much. We don't like the Empire at all. Not for nothing, we'd rather be our own people that handle our own situations. Thankful for all of your help, and if you can get them to leave us alone, that would be a lot easier than, well, us having to attack those soldiers in the streets and then fighting back. But he looks at all of your siblings. I feel like before I can ask all of you for anything, you all need to have a very serious conversation with yourselves. The big man's their hand hasn't stopped shaking under the table this entire time. And he just looks over at Marion. Marion, you don't notice it, but your hand has just been idly tremoring.
Right. That's a good call, I'd say. Just to be clear.
Work on your home, I'll work on mine.
Right. Just to be clear, though, I'm not. What I'm putting on the table, as best I can, is some form of alliance. Even that word might be a bit strong, but I mean, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And Tal'Dorei would rather have you as their friends than their enemies. I can say that much. As would we.
Bride's Call likes all of you well enough. We're willing to assist you if you need it, but sorry, we're staying out of all of the major swingers in this game.
Sure. Just let my eyes linger on him a little bit, but don't say anything more. Then I look over at Lily with some concern. You okay over there?
Oh my
For the-
god.
For the record, Lily has like ducked behind the corner, but Misty's still staying there.
Don't mind me, dearie. Just walking to my room.
Joey, I don't know if you saw the chat, but I went outside and asked the same question to those trees.
You ask the question to the
I
trees.
use Speak with It Plants, yes, my new spell. Because I went to the oldest looking tree I could find.
And over the next 10 minutes, the tree will tell you, yes, we have seen many scary things
What?
come through here.
I hate plants.
Room.
What was it? Was it remember I said monster, not humanoids.
Oh. We've seen giants before. Not for a very, 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 very
Okay, Treebeard.
long time.
What about most recently? I'm trying to help you.
Recently, we've only seen the bad fire.
That fire was forest fire or something?
No, from the dwarf. The fireball that was casted by the dwarf in the middle of town. Dude, this is a town. These trees, like
I was just seeing if they saw something weird.
It's a city tree,
city
man.
tree.
Like, it doesn't know that much. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't know the
Oh
harshities
well,
of the world.
you got about 10 more minutes before this thing fades. Probably make the best of it.
Oh,
Talk to the other people. Let them know what you want.
Wait, you can, all right.
Just awaken the tree.
but anyways.
For 10 minutes.
So back towards what everybody else was doing.
Just an old lady over here about this corner.
With a giant robotic dog.
Oh, look, guys, Lily's up.
Fuck.
Don't make me get the water out.
So, did we end up coming up with a plan? I don't think there's any monsters nearby unless somebody put something on a job board here about a monster, but I like the idea of sending them away to fight something.
Well, I thought we had a solid plan before, as the Volstrucker give the incoming garrison false orders saying there's a mix-up in paperwork and that they're not supposed to be stationed here but elsewhere.
Yes, I was gonna go to wherever these Imperials were based and get their seal and write a letter, but gonna need an officer's outfit, I guess, and whoever was in charge with him.
About that.
And Lily will, with a flourish, take off the cloak and then literally just like crumble it in a ball and throw it at Kurt.
We'll catch it messily. Oh, I thought you wanted to keep this. Thanks. Guess this works
It's-
too. I was gonna not like wearing somebody else's clothes, obviously.
It's alone.
Kurt's gonna put this on and change from the fisherman's outfit that he's been in to
That's right, you swim in the fisherman's outfit.
to what I haven't seen the outfit actually of the Imperial officer, so whatever he imagines it looks like. So it's gonna be over the top.
I think it's still an hour of attunement though, so.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna be attuning to it then. Also, here's a chapter in this book I think you should all read. Bernie, I'm sure you read it. He's gonna put down the part about de-escalating a fight on the table for rules of engagement. I'm gonna go attune to this, but let me know what the plan is, guys. I would prefer not to be sending this village into a straight war. No offense, but these people seem like they're just trying to live their lives, not trying to fight others.
I fully agree.
Yeah, these are good people, but with how the Empire is acting on that, if we don't do something, they're just gonna keep being oppressed. And they're just gonna keep coming. We need to, if anything, it would have to be, this is just one point. If we went to, I don't even, what I'm about to say would be more or less just starting a rebellion, but if we didn't want the Empire to focus on just this village, we would need to go to other villages and other towns and show them that the Empire is oppressing them and that they need to stand up for themselves. Or at least to force the Empire to either change their ways or lose their people.
Excuse me if I'm speaking out of term here, but young lady, you had a panic attack from what happened here. And that's nowhere near the worst of what happens in these situations.
I'm aware of that. And I'm terrified of what might happen, but I can't stand people that would so easily call for something such as just killing people that weren't involved.
So what are you gonna do? Go out and kill all of them instead? Be a vigilante? Where does it end?
Right. Well, whatever the case is, we need to focus on finding a way to deceive them into, at least in the short term, ignore Pride's call, or try to keep them ignorant of what's happened here. Because as soon as they find out, they're going to send another larger contingent, and from what I know of the Empire, is they tend to see everything as a nail, and they're the hammer.
Well, if at the very least, no one but the people in town know what happened. So if we can at least get this incoming patrol to go away, then the Empire has no idea what happened here.
Well, okay. Well, the thing is, if we make it go away, sure, it goes away, but what after? What happens after that? They're soldiers. They have rules and orders to follow, and their commander has an order to come and fortify Pride's call because it is of strategic interest to the Empire. I don't think it's going to be as easy as just making one deception and letting everything sail on that, because we need to have something more comprehensive.
Such as?
Let's think.
I don't want to be a fly in the ointment, but we also have a dead Imperial mage and their apprentice currently tied up at I assume, a jail cell.
Yeah, took him over there.
Right.
Him being dead and dealing with him we need to control eventually someone is going to try to reach out to them.
Right.
And we can't stop that.
There's no way to stop it at all?
Mr. Goldie, how does the Empire get in touch with your guys' establishment? How do they make contact with you? I assume they do if they're sending agents here.
Well, if it's just a decree being pushed out and coming down here, they usually just send a rider to come down and deliver it to us. Every 5 to 6 months or so, I have to attend a meeting with the other Starostas in other places, depending where they wish to hold them. If it's something impactful that they need to monitor, they usually would just send Wiesel, the Volstrucker that you all killed.
And do they speak with you regularly, or do they kind of just go about their own business?
Aside from those two situations, they don't really interject.
And where was it in town that they kept residence? That be out by the guard tower or somewhere else?
You know, usually they ask for a room in my estate, but I never see them coming or going. If you want, you can look at the room.
Would be very thankful.
Any word on if the dwarf has woken up yet?
No one's come through yet. Imagine he's going to be out for a little while.
Do you have an alchemist in town or someone with herbal expertise?
Yeah, we'd have a couple of
Right.
people.
Because, well, if it's as you say, Miriam, that well, if they're able to communicate the way Tulsa is, and there's no way to stop it, then maybe there's a way we can keep this dwarf heavily sedated in some kind of coma or.
Do I know of the possibility of dream?
Arcana check?
Do I get advantage because of school?
Is it your school?
No,
Then yes.
I meant Lyceum.
Lyceum.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, dream is something
You are
else.
educated because of the Lyceum. You are not.
Oh, 11.
11. You're not aware of that spell.
Yet.
Would I know anything that could put someone in a coma for a while?
Roll me a poisoner's utilizing intelligence.
2 4s in a row. Okay, going off strong.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Last question. Would Lily know of a way to keep him shitting so that he's incapacitated?
Probably not.
Damn.
13. There's probably something, but nothing that you've been able to get from Tal'Dorei or have sought after. It's definitely feasible to do, but nothing that you can imagine.
In theory, there could be a poison that does that, but I don't know of any off the top of my head.
All right. I'm gonna excuse myself from this conversation.
All right.
Why are we trying to do this to a captive?
Well, the thing is, this captive, he is, as soon as he is able to communicate with his people, Volstruckers, is that what you call it? You can bet he's going to say exactly what's happened here to the best of his knowledge, and then the Empire will know within mere moments of that.
What are you talking about? How's he gonna communicate? We got him tied up.
Well,
Magic.
Tulsa, maybe you can explain how that thing works.
Well, through the magic I use to send messages, people can reply to them up to 25 words.
Which is why I had them take all of his jewelry and anything that could be used for magic.
Regardless, though, he is a loose end. That there's one way we could deal with it, but that's a frowned upon way.
Well, the way I see it is that he is effectively a prisoner of war. Indirectly, maybe, but still, it's all connected to this conflict between Tal'Dorei and the Empire. And, well, I would suggest that we try and get him into the custody of Tal'Dorei. He may be in possession of information that would be very helpful.
If you do that, it might drag Pride's Call into it. They'll think someone from Pride's Call didn't do their job.
Pride's Call is already dragged into it. Right now, we're just trying to postpone how quickly they're being overtly dragged into it.
And the other thing, too, is we don't know what other countermeasures these Volstruckers have. Like, you remember the mage, his jaw exploded so that he couldn't give information while dead. So we don't know what other things could still be there if they're alive.
True. Well, I mean, you guys are the arcane experts. I have little knowledge of such things, so is it possible for you to try and investigate him a little bit, or see if he has some kind of magical effect or something? Or
I can cast Detect Magic near him and have Miriam look at it.
Can identify afflictions, latent magics on an individual when you identify the individual.
I can perform a ritual that can show me if there's any magics attached to him. I need the pearl, but other than that, it just take me time. And that's even if I find out if what is attached to him, I don't know if I have the capability to do anything about this. This is... I know nothing of the Assembly other than they are the Elysium's counterpart. So what that tells me is they have resources and highly powerful mages running it.
And not to mention, when he said counterpart, he also means evil counterpart.
You...
I mean, they are, right? It's... the Lyceum doesn't... From what the Stoics said about the Volstruckers, they don't... The Lyceum doesn't take people and make them orphan themselves. Kill their own family so that they're broken mentally and they have nothing to do but whoever's bidding is there.
is that what they do?
Yeah, you missed that part.
Goldie and Amy are both nodding. If you want, you can talk to your father about that. That's what he was.
Right, and
Believe me, I want to have a long conversation with him about many things right now.
Right.
And I don't know if I need to remind you all that we only are at this point because one of us wanted to learn the name of the one who did this, who started this whole Volstrucker thing, I think.
That's not fair. And
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have murdered 5 people to get to this point.
There's no point in sitting here pointing fingers at any one of us. What's happened has happened, and that's something we need to deal with. And we can best deal with it if we stay together. What I would like to know is what everyone's thoughts are going forward. Are we... Because I am, for my part, honor-bound to uphold, my oath to Tal'Dorei and keep my loyalty. And if that means taking part in the war effort because it is coming here, then I think I may have to. But I don't want to pull you all into that with me.
I'm not gonna kill anybody just because they're Empire. Goldie said it himself. They can scrape people from all over, whether they're willing or not. Just because somebody has armor on doesn't make them an evil person. And
No.
I don't plan on killing anybody else. And I refuse to go along with anybody that is willing to do that.
Right. Well, That is something that is most likely on the table for what will happen at some point in the not too distant future. Because, well, we have to prepare for any eventuality wherein this deception that we're trying to achieve, whatever the details of it is, that is going to fail. And if it does, then, well, we paint ourselves as enemies of the Empire. And whether or not you perceive them as evil, most of them are probably just normal people who have been dragged into this, who would rather stay at home with their families. That's what most soldiers are like. Sometimes you're just part of a machine that's bigger than you.
I'd like to hear where everybody else stands before we continue.
The thing with magic is you can't do it non-lethally. It's an all or nothing thing. Spells that harm one another can vary in how strong they are. Like with the evil sugar that I end up killing. I didn't think that would kill him. I thought that would weaken him enough to where you could knock him out. But things don't always go the way we want. And you probably know that the best, Lily and Miriam.
I'm gonna look Shale dead in the eye. I am a student of the Lyceum, a school of magic. I did not want to come out here. I didn't want to kill anyone. But I have. My entire reason for coming here was I thought I might learn some magic that might go towards what I don't even know if it's possible or not, but I wanted to see. And then this. I'm not a soldier. I'm a scholar. He's just, hands are shaking. He's trying to compose himself.
I understand what you mean, Marion. I studied to be an archaeologist, to explore our own past. And, well, yes, I may be a cleric. I really do want to figure out things that have been lost to time. Things that aren't taught to anyone anymore.
Out of curiosity, how you wanted to do all that, and how did that end up with you being hunted by
She leans in.
by the myriad?
I told you, my family is or comes from a long line of poisoners, and you just get caught up in family matters. Sometimes, well, I eliminated someone who was not healthy for society that was part of theirs. Someone who didn't care if others were getting hurt. And clearly that's not what they wanted. I honestly didn't even know well, I knew they existed, but only in hushed whispers, but I never wanted to really get involved in that kind of business. Sometimes it just has its own way of sneaking up on you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lily.
You're right. Tulsa, I'm sorry for how I was treating you today. After hearing, I don't want my brother to be in danger. That's why I came along on this trip here. And hearing after your dad revealed the whole reason we were even here was because you're in danger, it made me angry. But at the same time, I do value you as my friend and also my sister. Mm-hmm. And I don't want anything bad to happen to any of you. But I don't want to get dragged into things, and I don't want to drag you into things that would get you in trouble either. But it's hard to when some things don't get understood. I guess.
It's okay, Lily. That
Yeah, you can. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to get too involved in it.
Yeah, and you can hear too, like as Lily was like saying that last bit about like dragging you into things, she sounds like frustrated and all that, and it's clear she's trying not to point fingers, but it's like it's hard for her.
I get where you're coming from, where you were trying to keep the only family you know safe.
What I'm asking, whether it be something you can't control, looking at Tulsa, something you're afraid of, looking at Miriam, looking at Lily, those aren't justifications for taking someone's life. And if you're not capable of controlling it, I'm not gonna help. I understand the feelings.
I don't think you do. I don't think you understand at all. You have...
Shell looks at Dorothy for a moment. Go on.
You know, you keep coming at this from a point of just of saying that we shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that. But there in the moment, something bad was happening to the people that we care about. And given the choice about those soldiers, I would do the same thing if it meant that she was still alive by the end of it. And if you're going to hate me for it, if you're going to keep saying stuff like that to me, that's fine. But I'm gonna do what I know is the right thing to do.
And then Lily will just kind of stand and walk out of the inn into the rain.
I'm afraid I'll have to stand in agreement with Lily on this one, Shell. I mean, I do share the sentiment, but I do get what you're saying, that lives shouldn't be taken. Unfortunately, that's not always something that's easy to keep from doing. If someone sees you as an enemy, whether or not you want to see them as an enemy, things can happen. And going back, I don't want to point fingers, but there is a point to be said for the fact that you're the one who wanted to get your answers from our progenitor, as it were, and we wouldn't be in this position unless we all had decided to assist you in that endeavor. And now that we're in this position, I say you need to own up to it. We might have to kill again.
Well, for what it's worth, I don't think less of any of you for what you did. I just can't share in that same understanding.
That's fair. What I'm curious is, now that we're in this position, do you still want to go down the route of finding these Volstruckers that are responsible for, making Father end up how he ended up? Because if you do, you're going to meet some heavy resistance. And I'd rather you not face that resistance alone.
Never really been one to tell people what to do or come up with ideas or have plans. I never had any siblings growing up, so none of this is exactly the way I imagined it when I told our father that I wanted to pursue that information. I knew it'd be hard. I knew I might wind up in trouble and maybe even lose my life because of it, but I didn't think that I'd have to take one. And that was something I'm not going to be ready to continue to do.
To my knowledge, you haven't taken a life yet.
You know, watching it's even
Well, I'm just afraid that if you continue following, well, your quest, as it were, to find these answers or to find the people responsible, you're going to end up in a position where there's either kill your enemy or let them kill you. And you just need to figure out what you would rather do in that situation. As of right now, I think this seems to me like a bit of a crossroads, as it were. Miriam is very correct in saying that he's a scholar and not a soldier, and I perfectly understand. If he or Lily or any one of you would choose to, now that we've found dear old Dad and we've found some answers, if you'd rather just head back home, I for one can't do that right now. I will do what I can for Tal'Dorei here.
Other than,
and I think that's wonderful.
other than the fact that I was born and raised in Tal'Dorei, I'm not here for them. I'm here because I found more family.
That's perfectly fair.
And
I don't want to lose you guys.
Oh, sure.
I mean, there is also the myriad thing, but
Oh, yeah, right.
I didn't even know about that until the letter came. Really, I knew they were out there, but not hunting me.
Right. Well, what I think we need to do is just get a sort of communal understanding of what's on the table here, what's at risk, and what we're trying to achieve. And, well, I can only start with myself. What I want is to help the people of Pride's Call remain as they want, or as the Starosta just said, to remain outside of this war, if possible. I mean, that is, it seems to me a noble goal, and it would also be helping Tal'Dorei and also working against the Empire, because that's just the gist of it. And whether that is a short-term goal or a long-term goal, I can't really say yet, but for now we have two things to deal with. We have the Volstrucker apprentice, who's currently in our custody. I would again suggest that we do what we can to deliver him into Tal'Dorian custody. If we can, reach out to them. Hopefully they might be able to send someone here. And at least not directly start making or dragging Pride's Call into the war effort. Although it's very naive, I'd say, that to assume that they're going to stay out of this, because this conflict is already here. It's just a matter of time.
Isn't this the best discussion for everyone? Where'd your brother go?
I don't know. He's a bit difficult too. I don't know what to expect of him always anymore. We've been growing apart for some time now. But I think his heart is still in the right place. At least I hope so.
I think at this point, Shell will get up and go see if she can find Kurt.
Alrighty. Tracking after him is very easy to do. You know the treads in his boots perfectly by now, based off of how often he likes to look at them and show them off.
About the talking tree.
The bunch of talking trees. I don't know if they're talking to anyone.
Past the barking trees. We're calling it the barking trees, everybody, because bark is a fun, so we're going with that. And he seems to have head out of town towards your father's home.
Okay. Do I catch up with him at the home or just on the way?
You catch up to him right outside of it. Kurt moves significantly slower than you do out in the wilderness. So,
Sure.
yeah.
Hey, I did not expect you to be heading out this way. Hold up.
Oh, wow. That was. I thought you guys would be discussing all day. I already gave my 2 cents. Hey, Shell. I was expecting you. Usually it's Bernie coming with his different voice, but I didn't tell you that. How'd the negotiations go? Felt like it was probably going to be one-sided, knowing everyone has a stance.
Yeah, a lot of ideas for helping out the town. It sounded like. What were you doing? There's some trees talking back there, and you're all the way out here in the forest.
Oh, I was going to come up with a side solution and probably present it once I had everything for it. I don't like presenting things without significant proof or significant, like something that will actually work that I know could work. But I know the people in that room. We have a scholar, we have a soldier, we have somebody who's lived in the wilderness, and somebody who searches for relics, and then a mute. People that have lived not tropes, but have ideas on life. So you ask us, I think my favorite saying is, if you ask a priest, a doctor, and a soldier how to deal with an issue, the soldier will say to fight it. Doctors would say to probably cure the issue or use medicine, and the priests would say to pray. There's no answer that's wrong, but they're all different alternatives. And my alternative, I think, is going to be, I don't want people to fight. In fact, I left the military recruiting organization because I wanted to go to one towards people. Just people, not meant towards any government or thing, but more towards somebody that paid them. And I believe that if there was a way to just keep the Empire distracted, not on this area, but sending them all over, that is the way to deal with this. Just until they can't afford to hold this place. I think our dear old father, as you said, owes us some answers.
It's a beautiful thought. It'd be amazing if that would ever come true.
Well, first move would be diverting their troops towards something that hopefully exists. Second move after that would be receiving letters of panic from other places. Everyone's always moving towards other places and they can't ever put people here. That would be good. And dear old dad can't be the only Volstrucker sad with the situation, especially if what they said earlier is true, that they recruit people every 2 years. They mandatory 2 years of service. It sounds like there might be some dissent, and if there's some dissenters, maybe we can get through with them.
I think they're always going to fight, though. It's just a question of whether or not they can pull their punches. I think it's a good plan if you can pull everything off.
Well, gotta find out if it can even be possible. And as we open the door, see our father.
As you reach down towards the handle, there's an arcane shift at the door, and it opens for you.
That's new.
You see Agram sitting at the chair across the way. Yes, I upgraded the boards so that each of you can come without a key needed.
So have you heard what happened in town?
Yes.
So they're talking about bringing those people into war, which I think is honestly not going to end well for anyone, because war, nobody wins. But
Can I ask him something real quick, Kurt?
go for it.
Igrin, what would you have done? What was your idea to handle this encroaching imperial party?
The first thing I would have done is found out the scout who would have come here beforehand to make sure a transition would be smooth. In the instance of discovering a defected Volstrucker, the scout is encouraged to call for immediate assistance to the location and to wait for backup. It would have caused them pause, pushed them into a corner, and I would have destroyed them in that corner. Waiting for the other ones to arrive. As they were coming after me, I would have met the conflict of the commander directly, set up traps, destroy all of them, and lead the Volstruckers away on a wild goose chase against me.
That kind of sounds like a mix of everyone's plans, as I was hearing. Kurt says. Guess he might be our dad. Do you know anyone that... Do you know any... Well, first question is, do you know anything that's monstrous in this area that could have possibly terrorized the town, even if it's asleep or not doing anything? The others want a war, as I was saying, and I just want to divert them. If I could find a way to divert them, I'm sure the others will see reason towards it. Then two, you can't be the only Volstrucker that's sick of this system. I just need somebody, any contact, to help me lie to troops about things going on so this place can stay out of conflict. In fact, they'll always just be so distracted that by the time a real army or something big happens, the war will be over. This place wouldn't have ever saw a battle. I guess if I wanted anything from you, it's a name and this piece of information, Dad. Just to convince the others.
There's not very many Volstruckers who defect without being killed, hunted, or leaving the country. I only just came back to this country recently. Though if you need a distraction and you're all looking for peace, instead of fighting, murdering them, is that what you were looking for?
Yes. Well, at least that's what I'm looking for.
He stands up. Both of you follow me. And he starts walking down the stairs deeper and deeper into the home, past the layers that you all have been to, until you come to a room filled with chests. And Shale. He goes over to this green chest, pulls out a key, and unlocks it. Lifts it up and starts rummaging around many different things inside of it before pulling out a scroll. I never got around to learning this. It was supposed to be a present for one of the others. Closes the chest, walks over to you, Kurt. Marion is a very intelligent person. Astute, observant, quick learner. This spell can be cast one time with this scroll. And he should be the one that can use it. It'll be able to change an individual's mind, rewrite situations embedded into it.
Yep.
If you're looking for a solution that is peaceful, then you have a prisoner. Why not turn that into an ally that listens to you?
Thank you. That's a step. I like that. If you think of any creatures, let me know. Also, Miriam's not the only one that's astute and good at magic. He says as he starts to.
But you're not a wizard. It's a wizard spell scroll.
Actually, this druid bard can learn any wizard spell.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is... Yeah. So you're really going to try doing this without murder?
I've only killed 4 people. One of them I wrote a letter to his family explaining that it was a mercy killing, and the other two, one killed my friend Honeydew. The other 2 were not surrendering. I offered 3 times to surrender until most of the soldiers surrendered, and those ones didn't. I don't...
The code of conduct that you have.
Gotta read the book to get people to sign onto the fine lines, right? Gotta know what you're selling. But I think there's a way that we can do this where nobody in this town gets hurt. If I can... You do think of a Volstrucker that might have been wavering in their ways, or a monster that could be far off or nearby. Be very appreciated. And Kurt's gonna start. Shale, if you have anything else to say, I'm gonna be upstairs. Kurt's gonna start going upstairs. Thanks, Dad.
Take it once we handle the whole memory situation, that'll kind of put the task to rest. Are you going to be ready to give me the information that I was seeking?
There's just one thing I will always stand by. It is my word. Shall you have to understand the people that do this to others, to young ones. Being a pacifist can only go so far.
Talking about, I fight every day.
Because we have different definitions of pacifism. By the time I was your age, I had already killed hundreds of people. For them. And I did it with a smile. It's not right. But those are the type of people you are going to be against. People like me. But who still drink the Kool-Aid. Who still drink the cider.
Well, I just want to make sure you were going to stick to your word. You promised me then, once we've got this taken care of, you'll give me the name. All right. And shit will take off after Kurt.
I have to look at something real quick. Just 1 second. Shell.
Nope. What's that?
Noth. Does that mean anything to you? Roll me a history check, please. With advantage, though.
11.
Something in the furthest reach of your mind sparks when he says that. And you're not sure what it is. Almost like a memory.
That's not the name, is it?
No. And he starts reading your face, looking for something, and that dullness that you have only seen in his eyes has a little bit of light in it now.
So I don't rightly know what that is, who it is.
I was just checking. Very well. And he goes back to grabbing various books off the shelves and reading. And I think this is a good place for us to go on break, everybody. When we come back, well, you'll be able to, at minimum, talk to the Volstrecker's apprentice. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome everybody out there in YouTube and D&D land. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Before we jump back into the action, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. All of those things help us out tremendously. If you are interested in supporting us a little bit further, consider becoming a member here on our YouTube channel. Or if you want to join our community, we do have open slots available in our Friday campaign starting this week and the Tuesday campaign already. Just be sure to reach out to me and let me know, or just join our Patreon at one of the lower tiers so that you can get an invite into our Discord server. Alrighty. Where last we left off, the twins had started to feel significantly better, more healthy after their most recent bowel debacle, let's call it. Shale had revealed the circumstance about what just happened to both of them, and they both seemed a little concerned about it, and everybody gathered up to talk. After a heated conversation between you all, the party has come to the realization that Shale and Kurt seem to share a separate sentiment when it comes to how to handle situations and how to deal with it. Kurt had snuck away from the whole conversation. Shale had went after him to have a talk, and they both met up at all of your father's place, Agram. Outside, the two of them had their own philosophical talk, and you went inside asking him for help in this situation. Seeing that you all seemed to be in a little bit of dire straits, Agram obliged, revealing to you all a room deeper inside of this long home inside of this hillside that is filled with 13 chests. He opened up one of them in particular and rummaged around for a spell scroll that he gave over to Kurt, revealing to you that this was meant for somebody else, but they cannot have it anymore, and he hasn't gotten around to copying it down, so you all can have it. However, Marion has to be the one that casts it, as it is an arcane spell scroll for wizards. So, you all went out. The two of you met outside. And oh yeah, one more thing popped up. Shale was asked if the word Nolth means anything to her, which she honestly replied, no. Then you all left. The two of you are walking back. Do you wish to fast forward to meeting up with everybody at the inn? Alrighty then. As you are approaching the inn, one of the Pride's guards interjects you with your walking. Hey, there is the individual seems to be stirring. They might wake up soon.
Thank you. That's great news. We gotta hurry.
Then he opens up the tavern and exclaims the same thing through the entire tavern. Hey, the prisoner's seems to be stirring up. He's probably going to wake up soon. I was told to alert all of you when that's about to happen.
Right, okay. Thanks. We'll get on it. I wanted to do something while they're on their way back.
Sure.
And ask Tulsha if she would be willing to cast that sending. Tulsha?
You're
I
muted.
can cast it. I need to know who.
I'll describe it to you.
Okay.
Her name is Cecilia Summerstead. And she looks, well, I hate doing this, but she looks like this. And I use a disguise self to turn myself into looking exactly like her.
Please describe what she looks like.
She's a fairly slender human female with blonde hair and blue eyes. She's got a cute face. She's very attractive actually. And yeah, she's wearing a chainmail armor, and is wearing also the same kind of uniform that you've seen Bernie wearing at times, but not here in Pride's Call though.
Oh, is this your girlfriend?
Well, we're not sure what to call it, but I dropped the disguise. This is don't tell her I did that. It's well, I have given some thought as to what to, well, the message to send. It's only, you said only 25 words, right?
Yes.
Right. So should I write them down for you, or
That would be helpful, yes.
right? Do you have any parchment or paper? Anyone?
Here.
Right, thanks. Let me just copy paste that then.
All right, Tolsha, please read that out loud.
Cecilia, I'm in Pride's Call. Secession imminent. Claiming neutrality. Have captured Volstrucker. Commander. Hellsberger incoming. Need assistance. Please reply. 25-word reply. Love you, Buren.
Please relay.
Oh, please relay. Sorry.
Many profanities get strung at her right now.
Well, I wasn't exactly ready for this.
The
What are
question
the
is,
first things out of her mouth?
the question is,
Who the fuck are you? Speaking for Bernie. I would like to know your position and rank. Understood. I will pass this along to our superiors. I love him too.
I will relay the entire message. This word for word.
In that same
Who
tone.
the fuck are you? Sorry, immediate instinct. Who the fuck is this bitch?
I'm matching the tone and everything.
Sounds about right. And you see a slight blush flaring up in his cheeks.
And I
right.
cannot reply.
That's fair. Yeah.
All right.
So she
But-
might be mad at that. That will be fun.
Well, I imagine it's the first time she's experienced it. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but
Phrasing, Bernie. Phrasing.
what? No. I was talking about the magic you. Right. No. Well. What was I thinking about? Damn you! Let's go talk with this dwarf dude.
Alrighty.
Just a wide grin.
Everybody.
I think, didn't Marion and Lily, weren't they doing something?
Well, they were in their room.
No, no, that was we are joining because Marion's the only one who can cast it.
Already then.
I think, yeah, no, Lily would probably, no. Yeah, no, Lily did go to the Starosta asking about to see the room because she was gonna do an investigation there.
So you're gonna go to the Starosta's estate. Okay, so everybody else is together. Everyone
Can
else.
someone please go with Lily? The last time this happened, she got kidnapped.
I said Marion and Lily.
I can't.
I thought this would all be happening while me and Kurt were gone, but yeah.
Yeah, because they were gone for a
Oh.
little while.
Okay.
Probably like 20, 30 minutes. It's actually probably like an hour. and a
Okay,
half.
if we had that time, then Marion would go with Lily because he has no idea about that scroll.
So the two of you are escorted over to the Stros's estate. Now, for Pride's Call, estate is the proper terminology for this. It's a wide ranch-style home, single story, that's cut into a L shape for multiple wings. There's a good chunk of land around it that's wide open with fields. There's nothing in the way of gates or walls or anything like that. Compared to the Lyceum and other choice places in Singorn, however, this is a very tiny estate. And you're allowed in. The Stroster will walk with the two of you. All right. So, over here is the room that we usually set aside for him. It's the furthest room away from the rest of everything else. And here's the room key. Hand it over to you. He only ever goes in there once whenever he stays, and then he leaves.
All right. Lily, do you sense any magic?
Do you?
From this room.
I did not prepare the my magic detector today. So it looks like we're gonna find out the hard way. Lily will
unlock the door with the key.
Pass me the pearl first. Gonna have to identify a lot of things in here, I bet.
Yeah, it passes it over, and she'll like hold up a hand for Marion before she steps in, so that she is like the first one to enter, in case there's something there.
Alrighty. You step inside. Nothing happened. The bed is perfectly made and kept. Not a single wrinkle in it whatsoever. The nightstand has only a lantern and a glass of water that's condensation has started going completely on the outside, soaking the end table around where the glass sits. There is an armoire. There is a footlocker. There is a vanity table, all of which look untouched to the cursory glance.
Lily would like to take a look around first for any traps or magical runes that might be hidden somewhere.
I would like to assist with that.
All right. Roll me an investigation, please. $18.
For a minute, I thought you were going to say, oh, shit.
No. You don't detect any magical runes in place in this location. You look back at the doorway, and there is an alarm spell around the border of it, but, I mean, the recipient is a little unreceptive. You go over to the footlocker, open it up. You peer down inside, and it appears to be empty. Nothing in it at all. Where else are you looking?
You said footlocker. Remembering
Armoire, vanity table, bed, end table. That's it.
Yeah, and I'm remembering what you said before about the guy, them leaving and coming wasn't often seen. Lily has an idea and is going to check the armoire, see if there's a little Narnia in this wardrobe.
You open up the wardrobe and look around, jumping inside and pushing your hand up against the back wall, and nothing. It appears to be an armoire.
This isn't as exciting as I thought it'd be, but, well, it's simple.
I'm gonna identify the nightstand with the water. I don't know. That's just, for some reason, that's sticking out in my brain.
Okay. You cast Identify on the nightstand, and you identify this as a hardy nightstand, crafted out of mahogany wood, utilized with the purpose of being bedside and housing small items that somebody would need while lying in bed, such as lights, lanterns, books, or glasses of water.
I'd like to open.
It is, in fact, a nightstand.
I'd like to I would like to pull the nightstand. It's like a normal nightstand, right? It's one drawer.
Yeah.
I'd like to open that.
All right. You open the nightstand, and as you go to pull it, it gets stuck on something.
I do not. I stop immediately because this is a super suspicious spy man. Lily, can you check to make sure that's just stuck?
Yes. Yes, I can. All right.
Lily will clap her hands together as she kind of like cracks her knuckles, and she will begin to carefully see what the heck is causing that to get stuck.
Roll me an investigation, please.
Advantage because technically Marion's kind of helping, or no?
I can assist.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. 20. It seems to be stuck on something underneath it, and when you go down, lie on your back, and look underneath the table itself, there is a trap placed underneath this nightstand. An alchemist fire trap that would immediately shatter if this nightstand was forced open.
For once, my paranoia pays off.
Given Lily's experience with alchemist fire as well as ability with traps and such, can she attempt to disarm it by like basically what's like either taking out the trigger for it or making it so that one of the like emptying out one of the fluids for the alchemist fire so that it doesn't, when it does react, it doesn't burn, it's fluid?
The alchemist fire is a magical item that is not like a bomb where two things collide and boom. It is when this bottle is broken or opened, it will explode with a fire. Right now, there's a mechanism in place so that if somebody were to force it open, touch the vial at all, it will explode and burn. You could try to disarm the mechanism if you would like.
I would indeed.
It's a pulley system of, thick wires and sharp edges around it.
Can I summon an unseen servant to give her an extra pair of hands?
The unseen servant does not have a skill that could be helpful
But
in
if
this
it can hold the
situation.
bottle.
Sure.
I'm trying to help, man.
I understand, but usually when you're helping with thieves' tools, it's because you're proficient
Okay.
as well. Yeah, this is a skill requirement. Particular set of skills. So, Lily, being the person with those skills, please utilize them.
Yeah, so it'd be a thieves' tools, right?
Yep, utilizing dexterity.
Okay, dokes. Actually, well, quick question: could I use sleight of hand instead?
No, you can use thieves' tools utilizing dexterity.
Well, shit.
You are disarming a trap. This is thieves' tools. And I'll tell you right now, the DC is 16.
Okay. Oh, hey, that's why I got the tool expertise thing now.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Let me double check to make sure it actually did with my tools. expertise. I don't see where I could do that, so I'm just gonna roll it, and if it doesn't add my double my proficiency, we'll just add it. No.
You are successful. You find the particular thread that, upon cutting it, will remove the tension of the needles up against the vial. And you cut it and grab the alchemist fire in your hand. You now have a vial of alchemist fire at your disposal.
Yeah, Lily's definitely keeping that.
Yep. And now you can open the drawer.
Got it.
Slowly opens the drawer, making sure there's not a second trap.
You open the drawer. Lying inside appears to be a tome with a lock on it.
I would like to identify the tome.
Okay. This is Wiesel's spellbook. That's it. It's Wiesel's spellbook.
Did we find his diary? His dirty little secrets?
The spell book.
I mean,
You wouldn't
I
happen to
see
know
him.
knock, would you?
No. I put my faith in more practical terms for that sort of thing.
When I identified it, does it encompass does the lock account as part of the spellbook, or is it a separate lock?
It didn't pick up the lock on the spellbook when you identified
Okay.
the spellbook.
Well, let's, before we attempt to have me pick that, let's try something real quick. And
Lily will open her bag and pull out the dead body of Weasel and begin to search it for like any keys and shit.
Oh yeah, we didn't search. We didn't search, and we just stuffed them in the bag because we didn't have time.
And while they're searching too is
so about what I wanted to talk about, well, it's just you and me.
Over this corpse of a dead wizard.
Well, I mean, he's not paying attention. Are you paying attention?
she looks at the dead body.
The skull just sort of.
Okay, that doesn't count because that's your magic. But look, I wasn't lying when I said I came along to keep you safe, Marion. The other reason I came though was because I'm trying to find the one who I wasn't. Do you remember what my name was before I just kept being called Lily?
That was a long time ago.
It was. But my name, before I became Lily Sakai Speaker, my name was Lelixa Beris, of the noble Beris family in Nicodranus. A merchant, a noble family that was still maintained its wealth due to its merchant trades. And I am the last surviving member of that family. I think this might be it.
Does Lily find the key by now? Doing that or?
Roll me an investigation.
Okay.
you are very certain there is no key on this wizard's person.
No, that's just a bone sticking out of the skin. My bad. I don't think this guy is a key.
Lily says as she begins to like use the bag to kind of engulf it like a snake and a mouse to put him back in.
It's this. I've told Mom the story, and I've never told you, but when I was a little girl, I was approached by a man. He was a dragonborn like me, and he was really, really friendly. And he's my new friend at the time. He was asking about me, about my family, what we did, and where everyone was. I at that point I even knew who our family's guards were because they were family friends. I knew them my whole life. And then later that night, there was a fire. And screams, and my mom took me out with her to escape, but we were stopped by people more dragonborn. None of them, they were different from us. None of them had tails like I do, and then they attacked us. My mom tried to fight them off. I don't know. My dad. It happened so fast that after what I came to again, I saw the same dragonborn from before, and my parents, they were tied down before he gave the order.
Lily, you don't have to talk about this if you're not.
I do have to talk about it, because Tulsha was right. Things can blindside you even if you don't have the intent, and I didn't want to tell you or the others before because this was my thing, and if I had told you, I was afraid you would get involved with it and I'd be putting you in danger, but regardless, it'll happen anyways, I think. Because that's what family does, right? And he said he gave the order. Massacre them all. And I watched as my parents were burnt alive. Still hear their screams at night, and then one of them came to me and with a knife, and it cut right there.
And Lily gestures to the scar that you see on her throat.
I should have been. I was bleeding out, and I could barely see. The only reason I think I'm alive now is because one of the flaming debris after they left had landed right on me, and right on where they cut. It hurt. It burned, and I couldn't even scream for help anymore. I couldn't say a word. I couldn't even lift it. And then I heard Mom's voice. Our mom, is after she came, and she didn't see anyone at the time. They were already gone, but she came, and I owe her my life, and you already know, I owe you my sanity, maybe. This isn't how I wanted to tell you. I never wanted to tell you, but you deserve to know. I can't lose you. I don't want to lose the people I care about again. I won't. But that's the reason I'm here again. I took the letter to come to the menagerie. I'm looking for the one who did this to me. The one who caused me so much pain. And I'm gonna make sure they never hurt anyone again.
Miriam kneels down and just embraces you in a very large hug.
Thanks. I'm all right. I was thinking about this. He went in the room, and I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner.
Heard Shale look at chat.
Anyways, I see there's no key, and I'll open the lock. Hopefully this will be fine, right?
Yeah, everything's gonna be okay.
Shale, you're standing in the hall.
Oh, my microphone's not on. I think
You didn't mean to eavesdrop, but with your hearing and them, you heard the last half of that conversation.
We've got something that we need to take care of really quick here. I hate to rush.
Right. How long have you been there?
I mean, it's important, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Did you hear the last? Did you hear? Have you been listening?
You're just trying to calm her down, like rubbing the back.
Sweetie, it's fine. I heard the part where you were talking, but we need to take a breath.
I'm gonna go unlock this.
And Lily will take the spellbook from Miriam and just storm off to her room at the inn.
Miriam, we do need to hurry. He's waking up.
Right. Timing, Shale. Impeccable timing. And I go off with Shale.
All right. So, the majority of you meet up back at the jailhouse, where you see the dwarven individual has a sweat on his brow right now and is starting to slowly come to consciousness. It's not a flip of a switch. It's more of a excruciating process of catching your bearings.
Do I see Miriam coming?
Yeah.
Thank the gods you're here. Okay. So I got a scroll of modify memory. You're gonna change everyone's faces to look like ours on the guards. You're gonna make him believe that the Imperials won, and you're going to make him think. I think that was it, right? Imperials won, change faces, and
We wanted to send him off to convince the troop, right, and then send him somewhere else, right?
well,
Please type this out in chat.
well, I
so
mean
can read
that's
it,
that's a
'cause this
lot.
is-
So like that.
Yeah.
It was gonna be change of faces and make them believe they won. Because like convincing the troop thing, I can just tell him that because I'm the one in charge. Also, I need to see that guy's body.
That's in Lily's bag of holding.
Shit. Okay, that's not good. Okay, it was change.
We'll say you saw. We'll say you saw him when Lily was disguised as him
I
looking
was
out. the
just
window,
about to
just
say,
for-
yeah, you did see.
I need his
Yeah.
Imperial seal.
Another thing that probably worked is Lily was pretty upset at that point. She would have, she probably just took the spell book and left, and the guy's legs were still dangling from the bag that she left.
When we were searching it for a
So the
key,
bag's
did we
still there.
find his seal?
That would be on his. Sorry, the military people would know that ranking officials within any military keep their command seal on their cloak, as this is how I seal everything. This is how I show my mark. All of that. It's common for the.
So
service.
I would have seen him when we started frisking him for a key.
Yeah, it would have just been a nice pin for his cloak. To Bernie and Kurt, that is his command seal.
Okay, that's literally all you have to change because you can only change about 10 minutes. So I don't know if you saw the guards' faces for more than 10 minutes, but just switch the guards' faces to our faces and make him believe they won the battle. Everything else, I can talk to him.
You don't want me to give you any more leeway? I got 24 hours to work with.
I don't. If you can, go for it. But that's all I need. And Kurt's gonna look at him and then pull out his loot real fast and just be like, so I'm proposing a swift and orderly change. And now, hopefully, I'm gonna give him a D8 against his save.
All right.
Our D8.
Right?
Ooh, good. 6. There we go. 6. Wow.
That's gonna be fucking rough on him.
So we're all there now, right? Except Lily. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to activate my detect thoughts ability and focus on the guy.
Okay. So you're going to dive deeper.
Uh,
Are you doing that before the modify memory or after?
I'm doing it before and trying to like keep it up while that's happening.
Oh, that's gonna be fun for
You're
you.
doing it before his modified memory? That's a wisdom save, sir.
That's
You're
gonna be
taking
fun
the
for you.
D6. You're taking the D6 away. I'm gonna also. Be
Well,
casting
that's
Detect Thoughts.
that's not the plan. Well, I'll do the deep dive a bit later, I suppose.
All right. So surface thoughts.
I'm also doing that.
Oh, my head hurts. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No,
Kurt.
I'm also doing that too. Like casting detect thoughts because I'm sure Shale would have told us. I mean, somebody knew he was casting detect thoughts of Volstrucker, right? Yeah. So I'm guessing he usually has that up.
Okay. And you cast the spell. This is a wisdom saving throw. Public roll for all of you. -6 from this roll. What's your DC?
15. Not that high.
+4, so he's sitting at a -2. He has a chance to succeed. -4 or -6. 8. As the individual's attention is rousing, and both of you have detect thoughts up, your mind is expanded over the last 24 hours of this individual's previous experiences as Marion is rewriting it.
Oh, that's smart what you guys just did.
Marion, 10 minutes. There's a 10-minute segment inside of his mind where he spends about 2 minutes wandering around town, investigating for backups for a Tal'Dorian spy, gets an alert to immediately gather the troops and that they're under attack from Tal'Dorian spies. He spends the next 2 minutes gathering the soldiers. So you're up to 4 minutes now. And 3 minutes after that is when he engages in the conversation with all of you. And 10 minutes ends right after he falls unconscious. So you have that 10-minute segment to describe to me what happened in his mind.
Oh boy. Oh no.
You get to rewrite that entire 10-minute segment. You are the dungeon master for that 10-minute segment for this NPC.
Oh dear.
You tell me exactly what happened.
To be fair,
It's a fun spell.
Kurt already gave you a
Yeah.
good rundown.
Yeah, but it's very bare bones-ish.
Yeah. He's filling in the gaps.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, it's a fun spell.
Okay. He runs across his master, meeting up to him in the alleyway. He's then notices the master is disheveled, like he received some injury around his throat and a little blood trickling from the ear. And master gestures to him to lead him to in front of the inn establishment, to the hallway where we ended up. The faces of the guards that he has are replaced with our character faces. And just before his master's able to speak to him, to attempt to explain the situation, oh god, so much pressure. He is shoulder tackled by some random passerby, and they are assaulted by a slew of crossbow bolts that hit the guards, as well as the master and himself. Whatever I say goes. They're not even frozen, so don't even bother about that. Geez, I'm. And the guards, they take damage. They run off to pursue. This seems to be some kind of ambush from Tal'Dorei spies, most likely the group that has ambushed your master. A nice a flick of his rings, he let out a quick firebolt to deal with this fireball to deal with the situation, killing the majority of the individuals, as well as several, wounding the guards heavily, as well as incinerating nearby civilians. And the master seemed to stretch out his hand to the person who shoulder tacked you, and they just necked and fell to the ground dead.
All right.
How much time do I have left? I don't know.
You can, I mean, technically all of that could have been like 3 minutes, but like you don't have to fill all of the 10 minutes. You just give me the details you are adding and subtracting.
All right, so the guards aren't frozen. All that junk. People died. One last assailant came up from behind the corner and seemed to have kamikaze themselves right into his face. And that is where his memory will end, as he was been knocked out.
Alrighty. Kurt, Bernie, you both watched this entire thing unpacked over the course of that 1 minute after you get into his mind. Wisdom save again, as you want to dive deeper, Bernie.
Yeah.
All right, 17.
Yeah, that it's my DC.
All right, Kurt, were you diving deeper, or were you just going to be
Just
on
on
the
the surface, I wasn't going to dive deeper.
Okay. So you attempt to go deeper, but somehow the interference between your spell and this very powerful spell is very difficult for you to navigate through to breach his mind.
I'm gonna back away so I'm not within like direct line sight.
All right. His eyes open.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that as well, actually.
Same.
All right.
Everyone who can't pass this.
Wake up! Wake up! Now! Trying to do this German accent. I can't do German accents, guys.
Hey, don't worry, man. I gave you a hell of an excuse. Your throat got bashed in.
I mean,
True.
we could have.
And you know all of this.
It'd be funny if we had him wake up on a cart and just be like, "Oh, you're finally awake now."
You asshole! Don't even try.
Master. Yes. The insurrectionists.
All dead.
Hey, good master. I apologize for my negligence. I should not have been taken down so
It's
easily.
not your negligence. That was my own fault. But I've heard word of other creatures and things with threats coming in the near future, but outside this village. We will be minimum manning this village from now on. So you'd see our guards are more than capable of defending it after that last attack.
I am very surprised. We allow such diverse guards, and they held up fine.
We're trying a new outward strategy. You know, paperwork, they want to start adding all the other races to feel just as entitled. It's more of a formality.
Suppose we got the lucky ones.
Yes. So now, as of now, I will be staying here, and I will need you to take a large force that may be coming in here to the forests to destroy a great monster. We've heard reports that it's heading towards. What was that one they said earlier? It was like 600 miles.
Off-field?
Off-field. Off-field. If we lose off-field, we lose a big strategic advantage to the Empire. Little known fact that they have a mithril mine there.
That is... I did not know they discovered mithril in those shafts.
They found mithril.
That...
And if we lose that, we lose a key to the Empire itself.
And you wish for me to go speak to the commander?
I will speak to the commander with you when he arrives.
Very well, sir.
I'll be.
Stands up. Oh,
How are you feeling?
I can perform my duties.
Dismissed.
He looks at the bars in front of him.
Oh, just a formality. I was gonna make sure, and he's holding the chain in front of him. I was making sure you weren't one of the betrayers. And opens the lock.
Very well. Danke. And steps
Danke.
out. Then he looks at all of you. I suppose good work, soldiers. You're making this empire proud.
Just bow.
You're muted, Bernie.
Danke.
Okay.
Yep. And he will look at you, Kurt. May I be dismissed for the evening?
Yes.
Or do we have an objective immediately?
Well, I will be back at my quarters. I expect you to be there tonight to discuss
To your quarters.
the barracks area, of course, not my quarters, but yes.
Very well. I will be back here tonight, sir. Thank you.
Dismissed.
And he will leave.
Okay.
So you guys told the mayor about this, right?
The mayor's kind of like sitting in the corner, like,
We'll see how this goes. Like, I mean, it's better than him being dead, right?
The minute he's out of this room, make sure no one tries to kill him. We need him alive for a little bit.
right. Captain. The guard captain goes, I'll put my dogs on him. And just the three of them walk out. Alrighty.
What? When I'm sure that he's out of earshot, what did you tell him in terms of what you did? Like, I'm whispering this to Miriam, like as quietly as possible.
I'm not used to this kind of magic, so I just try to paint a believable picture based on what happened. I switched us with his guards. Made it seem like they were double ambushed, and that he got knocked out by an explosion.
Okay.
Can't counterspell a forward bomb.
I don't know what you did, but that was incredible. And Shell's just gonna give Miriam a quick hug.
Thank you. I really wish I was strong enough so I could copy that down to my book.
Is your wrist not feeling good, or what's the?
It's mental strain. I had to go into his mind to look at that moment.
That was a very strange experience. I sort of felt his thoughts just changing.
It's kind of scary when you talk about it out loud.
Well, yes, it is. I never get used to doing that. I suppose it's one of the gifts me and Kurt has from our father.
Maybe.
You never really get used to it, do you? I always hated using that spell.
Wait, you got that from him?
Well, it's not so much it's not really a spell, it's just something you do. I mean, it's like focusing extra hard on someone for a little bit, and well, as you saw, I didn't have to like say any words or do any gestures or anything. I just squinted a little bit.
We were just built different.
I mean, so you apparently it's now an Empire program to reach out to other races to integrate them?
Well, it's not the most unlikely thing. I'm sure militaries have done it in the past, especially if they're recruiting people, like they're making people join for 2 years. I mean, they gotta get what they can get.
The war, yes.
I wouldn't be too worried about it. Diverse group of individuals such as yourself, and he's gonna say good things about you, I'm sure.
All right. Are we going with the idea that we were all here, or are we from other places, or?
I hope he doesn't ask.
Yeah, he's probably not gonna ask, but just be as honest as possible. Except don't say Tal'Dorei, just say somewhere in the Empire. Keep the story the same as that. We don't all have to know each other.
So just go with our father was from here, and we've been
He was a hermit.
moving from town to town. Hermits.
But I don't
I
think
just
it
had
will
a
come
thought.
up.
I just found a wrinkle in this plan, so I'm sorry.
Yes, I can't help but feel as if, well, we did. It's a good plan on the surface. I just hope no one starts poking too hard at this guy, because there's bound to be some questions asked that'll be difficult to.
I'm going to
for him.
forge documents. I'm going to go into his room.
What were you saying, Bernie?
I was just thinking about Didn't you say earlier that these Volstruckers always operate in pairs? And now he's supposed to go off with these others to over to Allfield. I hope it works. I do. It just well, I think we need to be prepared for the eventuality that it may fail.
So my understanding was it was just one commander coming down there. It wasn't like a.
It was an entire troop with the
Okay.
commander, 30 soldiers.
Was it? Does that mean like 2 Volstruckers are with it, or because I always thought like troopers? I thought it was just soldiers.
They sent the Volstruckers ahead.
Okay.
The Volstruckers are the scout for the
Got it.
command.
I'm gonna send him on it. Then I'm just gonna tell him it's for training and stuff. But, yeah, no. Okay, let me get back in Kurt's voice. My plan is to send him out there. I'm gonna forge a lot of documents. I need to get into this guy's room. When I get in his room, I'm gonna look for any letters from Imperial Command and write something, change it to make it say something about Mithril and Othiel and a monster being spotted in top priority.
Marion and Lily were already over by his room. Did you find anything over there, Marion?
A vial of alchemist fire, a security system, and I believe his spellbook.
Were there any letters in there?
I did not see, but I did not have time to look.
That's what I'm gonna need, letters. If not, I'm gonna have to write one. And I don't know Imperial High Command, so that's gonna be very hard. So if I'm gonna have to write one, I'm gonna have to talk to him again. Hopefully tonight when I talk to him, I can try to sneak some information about Imperial High Command out of him. Because I don't know anything about that. Unless somebody can talk to this, look, oh, we don't have the corpse with us. Unless anyone can talk to dead bodies. And hopefully it'll be amicable to talking to us.
I mean, Tolsha talks to dead things.
I can, but he needs a draw. I think Lily could maybe make a fake one. Could she-
Implantation.
Yes. And even then, it might not work if he thinks it's someone he can't trust, or if we were an enemy of his. So it would have to be Kurt doing the talking.
I can do that. I can look like the dwarf. Well, that's if all else fails.
But I can't do that tonight. I need to rest to do it.
We could do it tomorrow then, that's fine. As of now, I'm gonna head to his room and look for letters unless anyone has a better plan.
I would try to get the apprentice on the road to meet the soldiers on the road and tell them, you're turning around here. We're going. We don't have time to waste.
I'll let him know that tonight then.
So, one thing I just realized, he's going to want his rings back.
You guys took his rings?
They were his focuses.
Yes, we're gonna have to give those back.
And the communicator.
Well, if it communicates with me, we'll be fine.
They weren't damaged or anything?
They're magic.
I will hand them to him tonight when I see him. I'll tell him the same thing I told him earlier about being in the cell. Did not know if I could trust him, and I took these away.
So, Kurt is heading over to the Volstrucker's room with the Starosta. Everyone else? Head into the tavern, I suppose?
Yeah, I'm heading there.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
suppose. Yeah.
I couldn't hear the last half of what you said. What was it?
Going back to the tavern.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, you all get there. And Misty is waiting right inside of the bar and has an open spell book that it waddles up and hands over to Marion.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, if anyone finds a giant arm throwing pumpkins at their rooms, don't blame Lily.
Okay.
First spell I've never even heard of. Nice.
These are the spells that you find inside of this spell book. There are some higher level spells as well that you cannot transcribe yet. But in time, so long as you keep the book, you should be able to.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Oh fuck. That would be.
so in Code Thoughts is the cantrip that you can glean from the first page. Charm Person, Mage Armor, Sleep, Detect Thoughts, Suggestion, Arcane Lock, Phantom Steed, Dominate Person, Modify Memory, and Mass Suggestion. Okay. And Misty leaves. So, Shale.
Go.
Let's go through this real quick. While everybody's heading back over to the tavern, take a brief moment and slip away. Heading back over to Agram's home.
Yep.
The door opens for you. And he is sitting there in the same chair, reading a different book.
It appears we've taken care of that request. for the town. They won't be sending the force here anytime soon.
Good. So, now I need to give you the name.
I do feel a bit bad because I'm not sure if we would have been able to pull that off had you not given us whatever was in the scroll, but that definitely made things a lot easier. Appreciate it.
There's no reason to show me appreciation. I'm just doing the bare minimum. The person who took me from my home taught me to be a Volstrucker and who made me kill both of my adoptive parents. His name is Trent. He is one of the members of the Cerberus Assembly. He is the most ruthless man I've ever encountered in my life.
Was he the one who was also experimenting on you with the children?
He rolls up his sleeve, and you see these blue crystal lines going all the way up his arm. Yes, he injected me with them.
And watch for a moment like Shale starts gritting her teeth a bit, and you can see the veins on her arm like illuminate that dull green glow that they've shown a few times before. You know, everybody else, mine included, they thought it was all like a gift. Thought it was like, Mother Exandria looking after them. But it didn't make me feel no different. Didn't make me feel special. I just wanted to kind of know that was the truth. Thanks for showing me.
I do not know if you are special. My hopes was that all of you would be.
They all are.
That name, North. He is one of the heroes from a tome I read. Closer to death than any person could be, and more compassionate around it than arguably anybody deserves. My investigations tell me that you like stories.
Right.
As one as one request. He reaches into his jacket, pulls out that same book he's been reading this entire time, takes this with you.
Not a very strong reader of stories.
Promise you it's the greatest story I've ever read. It's the entire reason I sought to make all of you.
If that's true, then maybe it's gonna be worth being something to pick up, I guess.
The edges of his lips give the faintest little smile. Well, you have what you came for. Best of luck to you and all of them. Glad you all found each other.
Look, don't bother Mama again, okay? I don't think she'd be quite as content as I've been, just in case you were wondering.
She married,
Of course.
right?
I don't think he had a choice in the matter.
And that was the first time you've seen any hint of a laugh come from him. Any semblance of humor. Well, that is all I wanted to know. Thank you. I will honor your wish.
Well, take care, Ingram, and I'm glad I met you.
The same. He'll look over at his table and lift up a different book, shaking it a few times before flipping it open and starting from the beginning. Now, Shale, what do you do now?
Taking the book, she puts it into her bag, grabs her same old pouch, lights up a little company, we'll call it, and whistles for Dorothy, and they start making their way away from their dad's old home into the night and through the morning.
And I think that's where we'll be ending this session and the story arc. Players, thank you all very much for joining me on this journey through this arc. I hope you all had a good time. Everybody watching, I hope you enjoyed as well. Don't forget to love each other. And we will see you all next week. Goodbye.